So today's movies were more Yevgeni Bauer films from the 19 teens. I really love that era of silent cinema. Like the 20s are great and they're lush feature films and everything, but there's some really just breathtaking films from the 19 teens. And I'm so glad that I discovered Yevgeni Bauer last year. He is such a unique artist, and his films are so gorgeous. Just just wonderful. So the first one I watched was called Child of the Big City, and it stars Elena Smirnova as a seamstress who earlier in life was her mother died of consumption, and she sort of had to make it through life on her own, and so she ends up as a seamstress. She has dreams of the luxe life, you know. And one day when she is window shopping, two sort of serial I'm not gonna say abusers, but like serial uh, cruisers of women pick her up and take her to dinner, and they're gonna probably use her because that's what they like earlier in the film they're like sorting through all the women trying to pick who they want to take out, and she realizes she can use them, so she agrees to become the mistress of one of them, and then totally drains him of all of his funds, and then, spoiler alert, literally walks over his dead body at the end of the movie, and it was so good. So it's sort of a mixture of, like shop girl movies and a precursor to the vamp movies that made Theda Bara so popular. Of Because usually when you get the vamp movies, you don't see the background of how they became the vamp. You just have the vamp sucking the man's life dry. And in this one, you see kind of why she was like, I got this opportunity, I'm taking it. So I really appreciated that, and it's beautifully shot. His use of the frame to have like he'll have a shot where there's two characters like right here and they're in front of a door, and then behind the door you see all this action going on, in sort of so that this is here and that's back there, and it's like that deep focus that we generally associate with like Greg Toland and some of them. Like this was already being done in 1914. Just he was one of the few people who was doing this, and beautiful costumes, beautiful sets. There's another scene where she's flirting with a guy while at the table with the main guy, she's throwing like confetti or glitter or something everywhere. And in the background, there's this woman doing this like crazy snake dance, and it's just sort of like back here, and the camera starts on Elena sort of drinking and throwing, the confetti, and then it zooms back until past her and past everybody until it focuses on the woman doing the snake dance, and it's such a breathtaking sequence. I forgot the character's name is sometimes in the English translation Mary, and sometimes in the English translation Maria, but spelled Marya, which is how I spell my name. So it could be me stepping over the man's dead body after I've drained him of all his resources. This is a beautiful film. Definitely seek this one out. The next one I watched was 1916's Her Sister's Rival, also known as A Life for a Life. And it's based on a novel by Georges Honnet. And in it, a woman named Mrs. Kromova is a very rich industrialist, and she has she's a single mother, but she has a biological daughter and an adopted daughter. The adopted daughter is slightly older, slightly more attractive. Both girls are flirty flirts, and they meet a prince, and the prince immediately falls for the prettier of the two, but realizes that she's poor and not going to get all of the money. So his friend cooks up a scheme wherein the friend marries the pretty girl and the prince marries the rich heiress and still has an affair with the pretty girl. And obviously this ends not well. But there was a sequence where the prince character is sort of trying to tell his mother-in-law to like where to go, and he's like, I won't permit that in my house. And she's like, your house, my money bought this house and you. And I was like, oh, snap. So it's wonderful. And it also had a great ending where the woman really triumphs over the dude. So so far, most of these Bauer films, that's sort of been the theme, other than the Dying Swan. Um, it's really been about powerful women sort of um, doing life how on their own rules and taking men down with them. And I think that's kind of fantastic, actually. So you can check these movies out. You can find them on the internet if you're savvy. This was Her Sister's Rival from 1916 and Child of the Big City from 1914, both directed by Yevgeni Bauer, and I highly recommend seeking out his work. He is fantastic.